All right, the game is it's getting put together here. So we've got some movement, we've got an end screen, we've got a lot of stuff. Now we need to add our little scoreboardy things where we're going to get other objects. Basically, like when we had the cat getting the donuts first before getting to the apple. So we need those objects first, and I figured out that Yoda apparently likes these like frog eggs, so I'm actually going to use just an egg. Now you could use 3 different things if you want, or you can use the same things. That's up to you. Now I'm on the hard screen, and that's okay. Choose one of them to deal with, and I'm going to put that there. Now I'm going to duplicate my egg because I'm only going to use the egg. I'm not going to use 3 different things. I'm going to duplicate this by doing a right click and duplicate. So you see another one comes up there and duplicate. So I get my other eggs there. And each one I'm going to drag to where I want it to go. Let's see, we'll put one there. And actually put one over there. And then an easy one right through there. So I'm putting them where I want them for the hard screen. Now, let's do some coding. So I'm going to go to events. Now I always have one of these because at the beginning, we want to think about this. At the beginning, do I want these eggs showing up? No, of course not. So we go into looks, and this is where we're going to have that hide. So at the beginning, I want them to hide. Now, that's pretty much all I want them to do. Usually I know I put that motion block in there, but I'm not going to do that for this one, because I want them to be in a different place for each of the different screens, the hard and the easy screen. So I am going to duplicate this code into my other eggs. This happens to be egg 2 because it's down there. So I'm going to put it into egg 1. And there we go. And I just click and let go. And then egg 3. Whoa, that gets really trippy there. Hopefully that will work. We'll see by clicking on egg 3. Hey, it is there. Good deal. So now they're going to show up, or they're not going to show up. So next thing we want to do is we want to make them show up on this screen. So in events, when backdrop switches, we're going to need 2 of these. We're going to need when backdrop switches to easy and when backdrop switches to hard. Okay, so a couple of them. I'll make it a little bit bigger there and scoot it over there. All right, so this one happens to be the hard one. You can start on either one, it really doesn't matter. But since I'm on the hard one, I'm going to have it show up. So that's the first thing. Have it show. And then I'm going to have it go to the position. Now, because I've already put the position, oh, by the way, why don't I just do this? Show for both of them. Either way, I want it to show on both of them. Okay, now I've already moved it to where it needs to go, so I can just put in this go to, because that is the correct coordinates for egg 1. I will need to do the same thing for egg 2 and egg 3. So since we're on the hard one, I can just do that, and let's see, egg 2. Now, I'm going to have to change, hopefully that worked out, I'm going to have to change the coordinates for those ones. So egg 2, so let's see, we have, messed it up. Any case, egg 2, I don't want this to be my coordinates. I want it to be the new coordinates. So I just lost that one, and I'm putting this one back here. I just deleted the one. So this is the correct coordinates. Egg 3 is not going to have anything on it right now. Let's see. So just because it's having issues with that, hopefully that worked. And it did not, so let's just do it from the beginning anyway. When backdrop switches to hard, I'm going to have it show, and I'm going to have it go to the XY. Alright, so now it will at least be in the right place for the hard screen. We need to do the same for the easy screen here. So let's do this. I think this will actually help me out with, maybe not. God, kind of annoying there. With some other things here. So we have the hard screen, so let's go to the easy screen. So I'm going to click on the stage and go to backdrops and choose the easy one. Now I'm going to go back to the egg and the coding. And for the easy screen, okay, so this is my easy screen. Now, technically, Yoda is going to be over here, and Mandalorian is going to be over here. So I'm going to put the eggs. Let's see, it's not great for this one. I'll put one right there, and I'll put one up there, and I'll put an easy one right there. All right, so that's where I'm going to put them, and now I'm ready to put them in there. So I happen to be on egg 2 for this one. It really doesn't matter too much. So let me get the blocks, since apparently I didn't copy these ones yet. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's go to egg 1. Sorry. Egg 1 here, because I already have this one, the when backdrop switches. So that's why I wanted to use it, so I can copy it later. And now I'm going to put in the motion, just like we did before. Go to XY. Now I'm going to drag these in, egg 2. And don't worry about what that says, egg 3. If you ever get that, you tell it to try again, but you can always go to File, and if just a good thing to know, you can always save it to your computer. So I know I will be able to save this. So in any case, I put it in there, egg 2. Now, again, I have to change this. The coordinates are not right for that one because I put the other coordinates on there, and I'm just going to put in the one that's now there because that is where it is right now. And egg 3, same concept. Get rid of this one and put in this one. So now they will be good. When it goes to the easy, they will be in the right place. When it goes to the hard, they'll be in the right place. Now, we need to develop a little scoreboard for these. So we're going to go to variables, and in variables, variables are awesome. Now, I already have a score one, but let's imagine I didn't. In fact, let's delete that. So go to make a variable, and we are going to call this score. Now, just by doing this, it basically makes a scoreboard. In fact, you can see right here, it says score. Now, you want to put it in a good place, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to find a really good place for every screen. So right now, I'm going to put it right there. And you can do things with that, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I'm going to put it right there, and I'm just going to have it showing up as 0 there. So far, so good. Now, somewhere, now I'm just going to use, because I have most of my coding in Yoda here, I'm going to use this. And I'm going to go to the very beginning, the whole when flag is clicked. At the beginning, I want my score to always be 0. So you need to put in a set. It says my variable, but that's the default. Change it to set score to 0. So it's going to set the score at 0 at the beginning of every game. Now, I need the score to change every time he gets to one of the eggs. Now, I could do this in the Yoda part, but then I'm going to have to deal with a broadcast to get the eggs to disappear. If I do it here, it's actually a little bit easier. So, I'm going to put an if-then. We've been using a lot of those, I know. An if-then. And we're going to be sensing, just like before, touching. So this is nice, kind of like the Mandalorian, touching, not mouse pointer, but touching. In this case, think about what we're on. We're on the egg. So we want to be touching Baby Yoda. When it touches Baby Yoda, one thing we want to happen is we want the score to go up. So variables. There is now not set. We want to change, because you don't know which egg will be first. So we want to change my variable by 1. So it'll go up by 1. And yeah, I guess you could go up by 10s or whatever. Just doesn't matter, as long as you'll have to change some at the end there. So change my variable by 1. Now, another thing I want to happen here is I want the egg to hide. I want to make it seem like he ate the egg. Later on, you can even add a sound to it here too. So that is good. But the problem is that if it's running, so like if I have this running, notice I'm trying to click on it and get it running, but it does run, but then it doesn't do anything. Because I need this to keep checking this over and over again, which means I need a forever loop. I want to check it forever. Now when I click on this, it glows because it's checking over and over. Now, this is for egg 1, and let's see where egg 1 is. Egg 1's over here, so technically if I went over here and touched it, it disappears. So it basically works, and my score should have gone up, but that's probably just a glitch. It's just not a best time to be looking at that. By the way, if you ever hide something like that and you just want it to come back for now, you can go over here and show it. All right, so that is good for this one, but not good for the other ones. Oh, here's why the variable didn't change. It says change my variable. That's a problem. It should be change score by 1. So that was a problem. All right, so now that's good. And we're going to copy this into the other one because it's really going to be the same thing. So I'm going to do a duplicate. Exactly the same there. Now, stop that. I'm also going to duplicate it to the other eggs. I'm going to take off this part because this is what will be the exact same, and I'm going to duplicate that. And actually, I didn't really need to do that, but I'm going to drag it into egg 2, and then drag it into egg 3, and then I'm just going to duplicate and attach it. So put that on there, right-click, duplicate, put it on there. Same thing for egg 3. Right-click, duplicate, boom. So it's on each one. So each one, when it touches the egg, it will increase the score. Seems like everything seems pretty good right now. Now, one other thing. So the scores should be changing now. One other thing we want to add is the villain, the bad guy. Now, I am going to use this Moss Gideon that I found. He's kind of the bad guy in these things. So I'm going to upload it. And I already did the whole getting rid of the background and everything. I'm using this little Funko thing. So I'm going to use that. Now, obviously, I would say that's too big. So let's try like 50%. And it's okay to use this change of size as long as you're not going to change it frequently, I guess you could say. So that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit bigger, 60. Now, to get him moving, all we need is this. We need... number 1, we always start with when flag is clicked. Then we do a motion. Now, I'm going to start him right about here each time. So I'm going to do the go to XY now. And now watch how easy this is to get him moving. We have a thing in motion that says glide 1 second to random position. Now, I'm going to make it even slower and say glide 2 seconds. But if we put this in a forever loop, then it will keep going, basically. In fact, I could click on this and watch him go. He's just going to keep going. He's going to go 2 seconds, then another 2 seconds to different random positions. Okay, so really that's all you need, except for this little fact that, do we want him doing it at the beginning? No, that's a problem. So I don't want it happening at the beginning. I want it happening when it gets to one of the screens. So let's do this backdrop and another backdrop, just like we did before. Make it easy and hard, and basically do the same thing on each one. So now he will be moving on those, but we also need to make sure that he shows up in some places. So at the beginning, we don't want him showing up. So I want him hiding at the beginning. Then I do want him showing up on these screens. Show and show. All right, so that should be good. We've got him. Now the final thing is we need to make it so when Yoda gets hit by him, that Yoda goes back to his beginning. So I know it's getting long here and I apologize, but right here it's going to be very similar to what we have here if touching Mandalorian. Okay, so we are going to do another if and another sensing, but now it's going to be if touching. I'm going to rename this guy because his name is really bad. So I'm just calling him Moss. This is like Moss Gideon, I believe. So go back to Yoda here because the other name was really long. So if touching, and where is it? Moss. If it's touching Moss, then I want him to go back to the beginning. Now, he started right here at this 198, 142. If I drag this down, I can actually duplicate that block. And I'm going to put it down there. And I'm going to put that in there. And really, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other one. In fact, I'm going to duplicate this. Put it in there. Make sure this is back in there. And make sure this is not inside one of the other ifs. It needs to be inside the forever loop, but not inside one of the ifs. And the only thing I need to change is I don't want him going to there. This is for the hard screen. So in the hard screen, he starts on these numbers, and that is what I want to duplicate. And those are the numbers I want to use, the 206, 156. All right, so this has been a little too long of a video at this point, so we're going to stop, and right now it should be working. You could definitely test it. That would be a good idea. It basically should work. When he hits Moss Gideon there, he's going to go back to the beginning, or when he hits whatever your villain is. So there we go. Let's move on to the next video.